Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this email marketing strategy guide, you're going to get a simple done-for-you 7-step email strategy that you can copy for yourself to make sure that your emails actually get opened and maybe more importantly to you, actually drive sales and grow your business. So timestamp table of contents in the description along with some other helpful links to putting together your landing pages, lead magnets, more deep dives on how to actually do copywriting for your emails, as well as a complete click-by-click video that actually goes through my go-to email provider MailerLite on how to set all of this up. Here we're going to focus on the strategy, so irrespective of what service provider you're using to send your emails, this strategy will work. So with that, let's go ahead, jump right in. And of course, the first step is figuring out how to get people on your email list in the first place. Now, this could be a video in and of itself, so we'll just go through a couple of steps here before we get into some more advanced things you can do once your email list has started to grow. And the way you attract people to your email list is by offering them something in exchange for their contact information. Because after all, just putting up a web page and saying, hey, subscribe for no good reason probably isn't going to get you a large email list. Now, you'll accomplish this by offering something called a lead magnet. Now, a lead magnet is simply some sort of report, video, Excel sheet, audio, presentation, something of value. What's very important is it's something of value that you offer in exchange for your ideal customers or prospects' contact information. I'll link up in the description and the cards to a video that goes through a ton of different lead magnet ideas. So after you're done watching this video, you can check that one out and you'll have at least one after you learn about those 7. So essentially you offer this lead magnet on something called a landing page. Now, the landing page is just a simple page that can look like this. This is something that was built inside MailerLite, and it just has a headline, a picture, or some sort of graphical representation of what your lead magnet is, a couple bullet points on why the lead magnet is so cool, and then a little form for the visitor to enter their email to join your email list. And that's literally as complicated as this first step should be. And when we get to step number 7, you'll see how you can actually begin to scale this particular part of the process very, very quickly. But for now, just keep in mind that we're going to offer them something of value, like a lead magnet, drive all of our traffic to a landing page where they can give us their contact information. Now, once they do, the very first thing we want to do, step number 2 here, is going to be segment, right? Because when someone enters their name and email on a landing page versus your website versus your contact us form, well, all 3 of those places represent a different person. So inside of our email software, we want to differentiate who came from where and what they wanted or why they actually gave us their contact information. And so this is where segmentation comes in. So whatever email service provider you're using, you're going to be able to immediately segment someone based upon where they showed up and what they ultimately entered their name and email for. Going through our diagram here, when someone enters their name and email on a landing page, we would tell our email service provider, say, hey, tag or add to group everyone who entered their name and email here. And then inside of your email service provider, you're going to easily be able to see every single person who entered their name and email here and wanted X lead magnet. And then you can tell your email service provider to automatically send out an email with the link to whatever they asked for. And so that segmentation, this is so important that you set this up so that as people come into your list, you know where they came from and why they are there. And this is going to set you up for the next step, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Just in case you're curious what this might look like, here's a snapshot of MailerLite. As you can see at the very top, we have an automation that starts when someone joins a group. And then right after that automation, we say, hey, when someone joins this group or is tagged, go ahead and send this email. It really isn't complicated. It might look complicated when you first get into MailerLite or ConvertKit. Those are the 2 that I recommend using. It will look a little complicated at first, but by the end of this video, you're going to be confident, and in no time, you'll pick up how to run all these automations. Now, why go through all this, right? Why not just send them off an email and then drop them into a sequence or drop them into a broadcast list like most other people do? Well, because they just opted in on a specific page, you have a pretty good idea of what they're interested in right now. And this is where the rapport building sequence comes in, because we want to try and make some sort of paid offer right now. Now, why do we want to make a paid offer right after their contact information? Well, we know that they are actively looking to solve a problem or they're actively looking to collect information. And so what we want to do is find some sort of paid offer, whether you're doing affiliate marketing, you have your own products or services, match that to whatever was talked about on the landing page or the lead magnet. So here, our automation would look something like this. We would wait 1 day and then start sending out 1 email a day for the next 5 to 6 days. Now, I'll go through what you can do in these emails. Let's quickly jump back over to MailerLite. As you can see, after the first email goes out where we're giving them their opt-in offer, now we start our rapport building sequence where we're building rapport and we're ultimately going to make a paid offer when someone starts going through this sequence. Now, what specifically should you do with these emails and what specifically should you offer? So here's a quick, very brief rundown, link in the description to a full-blown video on this, but very quick rundown of what you can do with these 5 emails. The first email, of course, we've already gone through where you're giving them their lead magnet. The second email, you want to build rapport by showing that you understand the problems and troubles that they're facing right now. And if there's any myths or common misconceptions in your niche or industry, these are where you want to bring them up and talk about how you can actually be helpful and you know that it's hard where they are, but they can ultimately achieve the results that they want. And you'll actually want to make a small pitch for your paid offer, whether it's an affiliate, a service, a product of yours, in the PS section of the second email. So email number 2, we're already looking to start the sales process, start the sales conversation. But we're just starting. We're not pushing hard at this point. So in that PS section, you can just say something to the effect of, hey, if you can relate to this email or you're struggling with this too, I have this cool offer or I know of this cool offer that's really going to be helpful to you. I think you should check it out here. And that's it. That's all you do. So let's go ahead and go into email 3 here. So for email 3, you're going to want to have some sort of story. Using story inside of email is extremely powerful and it helps you stand out from everybody else who's just blasting promotional messages or just creating generic newsletters. So with your hero success story, it could be a story of one of your clients or past students or customers, or it could be a story of you achieving something similar to what your ideal customer wants to achieve. So for example, if you're doing weight loss, it would be a story of someone who was able to lose weight with your program or supplements. If we were talking to people who were trying to grow a YouTube channel, then I would do something like share my story of struggling for years to try and get traction on YouTube and then finally having a breakthrough. And of course, the email would end with, and if you want to have those similar results or you're looking to achieve the same thing that this person or I was able to achieve, check out this cool thing here, and you'd link to a sales page or sales message. Now, these next 2 are going to be a little harder on the sale. And these are going to be big benefit 1 and big benefit 2, where you actually openly start to talk about the paid offer in the second half of the email. So the first half of the email should paint a really clear picture of something your ideal customer or new subscriber wants to achieve. Very similar to the hero success story, except we're not telling a story here. We're just talking about what life looks like once a big problem is solved. And then of course you tie in your product, service, or affiliate offer to, and if you want to achieve this or you want to enjoy this kind of lifestyle or benefits or results, then this is what you need in order to do that. And you'll talk about the product or service. Now you can have 2 more emails that follow this similar format. Typically we just stick with 5, and that does it for the rapport building sequence. So these initial 5 to 7 emails are all you need in order to make your first promotional offer. Now, most people aren't going to actually buy the first time round, right? So what do we do? Well, that's where this next step comes in, and that's where engage comes in. And this is where the majority of your email subscribers will be. Of course, you want to make sure that you've done all of this hard work before you just jump straight into engagement. So right now, our diagram looks something like this. We have our landing page, we sent them the lead magnet, hopefully they enjoyed it, and we sent them a rapport building sequence that made a pitch for a paid offer. If they didn't take you up on the paid offer, or even if they did, the sequence is over. So now what we want to do is actually zoom out. So we're going from this, and now we're going to this, where we're going to be sending anywhere from 2 to 5 emails a week. That's a rotation of content, videos, stories, memes, jokes, whatever is appropriate for your particular email list and business. And these should all keep an extremely conversational tone. And I highly recommend using plain text emails here. So this is typically what you would have heard called a broadcast list, or your weekly broadcast. So this is not a newsletter where you're just going to summarize everything that you've posted this week. So let's say if you're on social media a lot, or you're doing YouTube videos or blogs, this doesn't mean that you just weekly post some sort of newsletter where, hey, here's all the cool stuff we posted this week. That doesn't really work too well. You want to make sure that you're actually writing these emails and driving engagement, because all your goal here is to get people to continue to open your emails and continue to engage with your emails to set up for the next step. So anywhere from 2 to 5 emails a week, you'll just have to test on your own for what makes the most sense for you, and of course, how much you actually like writing. And I realize I cut myself off. Please don't get fancy with your email design here. You probably get a lot of promotional messages, and I say promotional for a reason, you'll see in a second, promotional messages where there's this really beautiful email template, there's pictures and design everywhere, and then you read an email from a real person like your friend or coworker, and it's just a bunch of plain text. Well, Google, along with other internet service providers, can see one that is clearly a promotion and other that looks like a real person. So when you're writing your emails, you want them to look like a real person. Don't copy big faceless corporations and what they're doing with their email promotions. That's not going to work very well for you. You want to make sure that you keep a conversational tone and you write your emails in plain text as if you were talking to someone. If you want to include a picture or two max, that's okay, like embedding a meme or something, but definitely don't use those email templates inside of your email service providers. Because one of the reasons I really like ConvertKit is because they know that hurts deliverability, so they don't even offer those pretty much useless templates. Now, at this point, I get one of two reactions. The first reaction I get is,
oh, well, you know what, Jason? I really like reading those nice promotional emails, and I always go to my promotions tab.
Okay, that's great. You're definitely not normal. And then the second big complaint I have is,
well, if you just put your emails as if they're plain text, I always think those are spam, and other people are going to think those are spam.
well, most emails written by normal people are plain text. And whatever camp those people are in, you definitely want to remember that as a marketer, it's not your job to think what you would do. It's your job to think how most other people think. And most other people don't automatically assume plain text email is spam. And most other people don't automatically go to their promotions tab and like going through those e-commerce emails. So I just had to include that because it's really ridiculous how much pushback I get on here. And I don't want that to dissuade you from going with plain text emails. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox here. So what is the point of this, right? Where do we start actually making some more sales or promotional offers? That's going to be our next step. And once we've set up our engagement sequence, every 4 to 5 emails, we can have a promotion email. Now, you can get advanced and have some triggers and have a promotional sequence if someone's clicked, but we won't go into that because that just causes more headaches and problems than it will actually solve. So initially here, just think of your engagement sequence, your content, you're putting out content, you're building rapport, you're keeping engagement. Every 4 to 5 emails, go ahead and make another promotional offer. And you can be as hard sales as you want here. It's okay in your email to blatantly say, I think you should get this because it's really good for you. Now, I'm not saying that you should just say, you're an absolute idiot if you don't purchase this product or service right now. Like, no, not at all. But it is okay to be a little salesy, just a little salesy with these promotional emails, as long as it's every 4 to 5 and you're legitimately providing value and entertainment in all of the other emails in between these promotions. So at this point, you are really ramped up, good to go. You have your segmentation and rapport building sequence, you're sending out emails, you're making promotional offers, but at the end of the day, not everyone's gonna open. And so the second to last step is going to be scrubbing your list. Now, something I really like about ConvertKit is they're going to do this automatically for you. Most email service providers don't because they ultimately get paid by the size of your list. But does it really matter how many people you have on your list if half of them aren't clicking or even opening your emails? The answer is no. And it's actually going to hurt your deliverability with the people who actually are engaged with your sequence. So however you do this, you want to make sure that people who have not opened or clicked your emails in the past 30, if not 90 days, I like using 90 days. You can go 30 days if you're really zeroed in here. But every 90 days, you just have some sort of automation where if they haven't opened an email, email, stop sending them emails, because that's just dragging down all of your averages, and the internet service providers are looking at all those people who aren't opening. So if you take all those people who aren't opening and you can either put them into a re-engagement sequence, which is an advanced strategy, or just say, okay, we're just gonna stop emailing them, your averages will go up, which means the people who are opening will be much more likely to see, and new people that come in it will be much less likely that your new emails to new subscribers will go to the promotions tab. So that pretty much does it for the entire foundation of your new email marketing strategy. And there's just one more step here. I know we've done a lot of work, so go ahead and hit that like button if you're still watching. But the last step is to hit the repeat button. So our diagram goes from looking something like this to looking something like this, where we start making more lead magnets and we start making more landing pages. We build out more segmentation, and of course we build out more rapport sequences. And this is how you grow a massive email list and ensure that you are giving people what they're looking for, and you're not just sending the same emails, and they're actually receiving offers that they would be much more likely to purchase and be actually happy that you recommended them. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you got some value out of this video, and that the final diagram makes a whole lot more sense now in the context of your own email marketing plan. So make sure you check out the links and playlists in the description, because there's a ton of content on how to put together your landing page, how to actually write your landing page, write your emails, and of course build this entire automation inside of MailerLite. So make sure you check out those links in the description. Hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing videos and tutorials just like this one. And until the next, keep building the business you love.